All right, we are 95 days out from Canadian Nationals. This is my week 1 secondary squat, primary bench. On squat, we had a pause top triple at 220 kilos, followed by some high bar work, which I'm terrible at. I think high bar took the biggest hit from the weight cut. I just have such a tough time supporting the position, but it's super humbling and I'm looking forward to getting better at the movement. And then for the primary bench, we had a top double at 165 kilos, followed by some back down fours. Again, all the weights are really light. It's just week 1, but this is a good way to start off the block for sure. I had some people message me on Instagram regarding the last video and the weight cut that I'm doing, going down from 83 to 74. And I think I'm gonna spend the majority of this video talking about that process, cutting weight, going down a weight class. Right off the bat, I want to get one thing crystal clear. Going down a weight class it's difficult, and I don't think it's a good decision for a large majority of powerlifters. Of course, I did it because I got sick and it was a necessity, but if I didn't get sick, I would still be an 83 kilo lifter and growing within that weight class. So this was more out of necessity rather than just preference on wanting to go down a weight class. I think the first thing people need to think about and see if they accept when making the decision to go down a weight class is the fact that initially, numbers are going to take a hit. There's almost no way of avoiding this. If we're losing a significant amount of body weight, we're probably going to lose kilos on the barbell as well. Now, just keep in mind, I'm talking through the lens of intermediate and advanced powerlifters, people who have been in the sport for numerous years already. Right? If we're going to go down a full weight class, we're probably going to see a reduction in weight being lifted initially. Of course, if you're brand new to powerlifting, you could totally lose weight and get stronger right from the get-go, but not my target audience with this video. It's funny because I cannot tell you how many times I've seen a lifter decide that they're going to go down a weight class, typically to improve body composition. They want to look a little bit better, but also with the expectation that training's still going to go phenomenally, they're going to continue to get stronger, and it doesn't. And this leads to a very miserable time in their powerlifting career, or in many cases, it just leads to the lifter quitting. Just due to the nature of my situation, I lost body weight really quickly, which means I took a far greater performance hit than most people would probably encounter, at least initially. If you're deciding you're going to go down a weight class and you don't have a breadth of knowledge in nutrition or managing macronutrients throughout this process, it would probably be a good time to hire a nutrition coach and do some damage control here. With smart programming of macros and time frame structure, you can reduce the performance hit pretty substantially. So I do think it would be a huge bonus to just hire a professional in the space and help you manage throughout this process. The next big challenge I had to fight going throughout this process was my movement patterns felt horrible. Everything felt incredibly foreign. I definitely underestimated the effects that losing this amount of body weight would have on my movement competency. The best way to manage these mechanic issues is don't make any technical changes early on. Things are going to feel bad no matter what. It doesn't matter what changes you make. Things are just going to feel bad because of the large amount of change your body's going through. Ride it out for a couple months. Wait until your lifts begin to feel somewhat more natural, somewhat more automatic again. Once you're out of the gulag and you're starting to get some momentum again with your lifts feeling better, now we can start thinking from a clear headspace about potential technical adjustments that suit our new leverages a little bit better. I will say, in my situation, I just didn't end up changing anything. My technique is the same now as it was when I was an 83 kilo lifter. Just because we're going down a weight class doesn't mean we need to make any massive shifts in how we move. Something else you may need to take a look at from a programming standpoint is your work capacity and how much total tonnage you can actually handle and recover from as you're going throughout this cutting process. For me, because my cut was so significant, I saw a massive hit to my total work capacity. Again, if you take it slower and manage the cut over a longer time frame, you'll probably take less of a hit to your work capacity. But initially, early on in my cut, I wasn't getting anywhere close to the amount of total work I was doing as an 83 kilo lifter. And I think if I did try and force it, I probably would have ended up hurt. So it's important to be honest about the situation. how much work can I handle right now, how much work can I actually recover from, and what is genuinely productive at this point in time. And remember, work capacity can always be built back up. I'm actually pushing back towards what I was doing as an 83 kilo lifter quite quickly. So just be smart, be honest with yourself, and make sure it's managed for where you're at right now. The last thing I'm going to touch on is relationship with food. This is something a lot of people struggle with when they're going through a weight cut. Thankfully, I don't have to deal with any of this. I'm not a big foodie. I would eat slop to hit my macros. And even when I was bigger, 83 kilo lifter, I didn't really have a big appetite. So the reduction in food, not a big deal for me. But I know this isn't the case for most people. This is just something to be mindful of for people who have really large appetites. Well, you might be a little bit hungry throughout the day. Or for people whose favorite thing to do is eat out all the time, well, we may need to make some sacrifices here. The ultimate message I'm trying to convey with this video is that going down a weight class is a big decision. Powerlifting is already an extremely frustrating sport, and things don't go how we want most of the time. And when you go down a weight class, this only makes it harder. There are just so many more variables you need to consider within your training, and so many more variables that you need to consider outside of the gym that are going to take up more of your time, more of your headspace throughout the day. So if you're going to go down a weight class, just make sure you're prepared for it. It's Adam from the future. It's December 8th right now, and I just had 3 clients compete at the Cowtown Showdown in Calgary. Kim competed in bench only and pressed 105 kilos, which is a 2.5 kilo meet PB. John Walls had such a crazy day. He ended up totaling 825.5, which was a 50 kilo meet PB with a 318 kilo squat. So that's the first 700 pound squat on the team. And that's by a 105 kilo lifter. And he's just entering opens. Super cool. 217.5 kilo bench and then 290 kilo deadlift with, there's definitely more room there. We were just pulling for the win and we did what we had to do. And then Nick Para also had a really good day. 2.5 kilo PR on squat, 2.5 kilo PR on bench, and a really nice 10 kilo PR on deadlift with some room to spare. So it's looking like he's getting really close to 300 kilos and he's made phenomenal strides since we started. So that's been a really fun journey to be a part of. Also, Eva Siemens, the Canadian sub-junior phenom, benched 130 kilos this week as a 69 kilo sub-junior. All we need to do now is to solidify it on the platform and the best sub-junior bencher of all time on the female side, which is so amazing. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. I'll see you again soon.